Today we're going to get into lesson 3.4, which is over standard form. Standard form, on the next slide you'll find what that is. It also deals with linear equations, which has been the theme of chapter 3. So, standard form. Standard form is a form in which linear equations can be written. So there's multiple ways linear equations can be written. This is another one of them. This is what standard form is. AX plus BY equals C, where A, B, and C are real numbers. So this is where the numbers will be plugged in, A, B, and C, with X and Y being your variables. And A and B are not both 0. So we'll talk about how you can use standard form to graph linear equations. Before we do that, we need to talk about a specific type or a special type of lines, which are horizontal and vertical lines that you might be asked to graph. So it says the graph of y equals b is a horizontal line. The graph of x equals a is a vertical line. So a and b are just numbers, just any numbers that can be plugged in. So basically, what the rule is, if you have just y in your equation and it's y equals a number, you're going to be having a horizontal line that represents that equation. Then if you have x equals a number, so if it's just x in that equation, it is a vertical line. Okay, so very important to remember that because students get that mixed up all the time. They might think y is the vertical, x is the horizontal. Make sure you remember y is the horizontal, x is the vertical. And it says this is also important. Whatever the number is that x or y equal, you go to that number on the axis and make the proper line. When it says go to that number on the axis, it's talking about the proper axis or the specific axis that is included in that equation. So like if it's y equals a number, you go to the y-axis, you go to the number on the y-axis, which is the one running up and down, and that is where you make a horizontal line. Same way if it's x equals. If it's x equals a number, you go to that number on the x-axis, okay, the one running left and right, or side to side, and you go to that number and make a vertical line. So let me show you what that will look like with a couple examples. Okay, so I'm going to stay over here and just make a rough coordinate plane instead of moving to my other coordinate plane, just so there's less movement. So I'm going to make a coordinate plane real quick. Okay, so this is my coordinate plane for this. It says graph y equals -3. So again, there's no working anything out with these problems. You just look at it, you think about what type of line you're making, and you think about what axis you have to go to. So if it's y equals, that tells me right away that I'm going to be using the y-axis. So this is the axis I'm using. Let me get a different color so you can see it better. So I'm using the y-axis, and the equals -3. So what that means is I go to -3 on the y-axis, which would be -1, -2, -3. So here is -3. Okay? And if you think back to the last slide, it says if it's y equals a number, you make a horizontal line. Remember, horizontal, think of the horizon at the beach. Horizon is like this. So that means I'm making a horizontal line that goes like that. And that's it. That is your answer. This is the graph that goes with y equals -3. Okay, that's all you have to do. You have to go, again, that's a very simple process, but students will get confused whether they're making horizontal or vertical and which axis to go to. So make sure you keep that straight. So let's look at the second one. It says graph x equals 7. Okay, I'm trying to fix this graph real quick. So x equals 7. So again, that means I have to go on the x-axis now to 7. So this is my x-axis. I go to 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 7 would be right there. And then at 7, if you think back, if it's x equals, you have to make a vertical line. So right there, I have to make a vertical line that looks like this. So this would be the graph that goes with x equals 7. So again, very straightforward directions. It's just a matter of keeping straight whether you're doing horizontal or vertical and whether you're doing the x-axis or y-axis. Okay, so using that idea,